Who speaks for Africa when the world's most powerful economies gather behind closed doors? In the dazzling city of Rio de Janeiro, under the glittering lights of global media, one seat at the BRICS summit told a different story. It wasn't just another diplomatic handshake. It was a signal that Africa was not watching from the sidelines anymore. It was Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed carrying Ethiopia's hopes, its ambitions, and its future into the 17th BRICS summit. But this wasn't just a summit. It was strategy in motion. And behind every handshake, every bilateral meeting, there was a deeper message. Africa is ready to play its own game. When BRICS first formed, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, it was a response to the dominance of Western economies. But in 2024, it's more than that. It's a symbol of an emerging new world order, where the global South is not just asking for a voice, it's taking one. So when Ethiopia officially joined BRICS in 2023, it wasn't just about a new alliance. It was about rewriting its global identity. And in Rio, Prime Minister Abiy made that message clear. He didn't just attend. He engaged in serious, strategic, diplomatic conversations with three major players: Brazil, China, and South Africa. In his meeting with President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, Prime Minister Abiy didn't speak just of trade or routine cooperation. They spoke of vision. How two nations across oceans, but bound by similar histories of resilience, can collaborate on agriculture, green energy, and sustainable growth. Ethiopia, a nation of fertile highlands and ancient wisdom. Brazil, a powerhouse in food security and innovation. Together, they envisioned a future where Africa and Latin America could lead the global South, not as competitors, but as partners in shaping a fairer world economy. This wasn't a ceremonial chat. It was a strategic alignment of global reformers. With Chinese Premier Li Qiang, the conversation turned technical and futuristic. The Ethiopia-China relationship stretches back decades. But today, it's not just about roads or railways. It's about artificial intelligence, clean energy, and digital transformation. Premier Abiy spoke of turning Ethiopia into a technological hub for East Africa, powered not only by infrastructure but by co-innovation with Beijing. China, in return, reaffirmed its support for Ethiopia's debt relief and pledged to expand Ethiopia's access to its massive consumer market through duty-free trade. In the eyes of many watching, this was more than economic cooperation. It was a vision of mutual modernization, where Ethiopia isn't just importing goods, but exporting innovation. With President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, the tone was familiar and personal. Both nations have weathered internal storms. Both have stood as African leaders at moments of continental challenge. They discussed the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, one of Africa's most contested and historic infrastructure projects. And it was clear, President Ramaphosa had not forgotten the delicate diplomatic role he played as African Union chair during past Gurud negotiations. Now, with the dam nearing full operation, Ethiopia wanted more than technical support. It wanted Africa's united voice. A voice that says, we solve our own problems with African solutions. Back in Addis Ababa, another conversation was taking shape. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, chairperson of the African Union Commission, didn't mince words. He stood before the Africa Job Creation Forum and said what few global leaders dare to say out loud. Ethiopia's growth is not just rapid. It's transformational. He marveled at Addis Ababa's stunning transformation, claiming it now rivals, even surpasses, many European cities.
I wish to recognize the leadership of His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, for his leadership to transform Ethiopia into emerging economy. Please, a round of applause for him. I could not pass without referring to the transformation that we see in Ethiopia today. You have visited all Addis Ababa. It is becoming an amazing capital city. I have been in several European capitals last week. Addis Ababa is much more beautiful than any of them.
More than 56 Ethiopian cities, he noted, are following the same trajectory. A country once defined by drought and war is now producing wheat, rice, corn, and hope. He praised Ethiopia's industrial and agricultural rise. He saw job creation, innovation, and a model for an entire continent struggling with youth unemployment. And he made it clear, Abiy Ahmed's leadership was not just national. It was continental. At BRICS, leaders often talk in statistics, projections, and diplomatic jargon. But behind the numbers are people, and behind the speeches are signals. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's presence at the BRICS summit sent 3 clear messages. Ethiopia is not a spectator in global affairs, it's a participant. Africa is done asking for permission, it's claiming its place. Partnerships, when built on respect, can power revolutions. Whether it's China's tech, Brazil's agriculture, or South Africa's diplomacy, Ethiopia is aligning itself not with charity, but with strategy. And that's the message the world must hear. BRICS is no longer just about emerging economies. It's about emerging leaders. And Ethiopia, with its 120 million voices, is rising from history's margins to shape the center of tomorrow's world. So, next time you hear BRICS Summit, don't just think of global economics. Think of the young engineer in Addis building clean tech. Think of the wheat farmer who no longer waits for rain. Think of the diplomat who carries a nation's dreams into a room once closed to them. This is Ethiopia's story. Subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Because this is more than news. This is a turning point for Ethiopia and a new direction for Africa.